What's up guys, today we're going to be going over the new rocket launcher in Destiny 2, the Hothead, which is from Nightfall's this season. And this rocket has all kinds of really interesting perks. We'll be breaking down those first and going over the god roll on the weapon and all kinds of different DPS combos and DPS numbers. And if you've been watching a lot of my videos this season, I've been using a lot of the Elemental Will mods, and there are two very good ones at the helm table this week. So if you don't have them, you definitely need to pick them up. And those are Elemental Armaments, which will create Elemental Wells. And the second one is Phantom Might, which is one of the best mods in the entire game right now because this mod is stacking with other buffs in the game. In previous videos, I said it was high energy fire that was stacking. It is actually this buff right here that is a 25% buff and stacking with things in the game. So you can combo this with high energy fire, like I said in my previous videos, or something like Well, or even Weapons of Light. So definitely pick these up if you don't have them. So how do you get the Hothead this season? Well, this week the Nightfall is like a shadow, so it is the fastest one in the game. And we were farming on 1320s for a bit and also did some masters. The master drop rate is obviously a lot higher, but they take quite a bit longer. So depending on your fire team and what you're comfortable with, just stick with 1320s. And the build we were using for it was pretty much just fusion rifles. I was using Vex and a linear fusion. You could also use 1k plus a regular fusion rifle. Then all you need is unstoppable fusion rifle. Then you need particle deconstruction, and also the artifact mod that makes your solar or stasis melees disrupt champions. And that way everyone on the team can do both champions, and it makes the runs pretty easy. And this week it's dropping the Hothead and also the Hung Jury, so not too bad. So now breaking down the rocket launcher itself, it is a 20 RPM. It does not have tracking built in. And like usual, the best magazine option is impact casing because it is the only one that increases damage directly. And if we look at the perks on the left, there's only 4 I want to talk about: tracking, field prep, demo, then also ensemble. And overall there's some pretty good options there. Tracking's there for situations where it's gonna be hard to hit the boss and you would miss otherwise. But if you really want a tracking rocket, I'll just go with a Royal Entry or even the Ascendancy, the virtual rocket this season that has it built in. That way you're not taking up a perk slot. So I definitely want to recommend it on this rocket. Then up next we have field prep, and this rocket usually holds 7 ammo. And with field prep, it will go up to 8. So it's only 1 extra rocket with field prep. That's still better than nothing and will help your total damage output of the weapon quite a bit. But more importantly, when you crouch, you'll get max reload speed for free with field prep. So that is also really good just for base DPS. Then we also have demo on the weapon. So the first part of demo is with 100 discipline. It'll take roughly 7 or 8 kills to get your full grenade back, which is cool, but obviously not that great to be spamming your rocket for ad clear. So the more important part of demo on a rocket is avoiding reloading, and that works really well. But they did add a cooldown to the perk, so you can't just spam it like you used to, so you'll only be able to get 2 in a row. And finally, the last perk in the left column I want to test is going to be ensemble. The base reload of this weapon is obviously extremely slow, and with ensemble on, as long as you're near an ally, it'll proc the perk, and the radius is pretty big and did not seem to stack with more people nearby. 1 is more than enough, and once you have it, it'll increase the handling and the reload speed. And you see the reload speed doesn't get maxed out, so it's only a tiny increase, and therefore I would just recommend using field prep instead. Then in the right column there's going to be 4 perks once again: Vorpal, Explosive Light, and Adrenaline Junkie as the 3 damage buffs. And we also have Clown Cartridge, which is going to be extremely good for DPS. So breaking down all 4 of those, first with the 3 damage perks, looking at the base damage on Carl, it's going to hit for these 2 numbers right here. Then if we go ahead and first use Vorpal and try that again, now the numbers on Carl will go up to these right here. Then we can also use Explosive Light. Every single time we pick up a Orb of Power, we'll get 1 stack of Explosive Light all the way up to times 6. And this will increase the damage on Carl and also the blast radius to these numbers right here. And finally, last one will be Adrenaline Junkie. Getting grenade kills will grant a damage buff. So of the 3 damage increases, this one is the hardest one to get, but it is the most rewarding. As you see, if we get 3 grenade kills to get up to times 3, which is the highest stack, the damage on Carl will now go to this. And since my rocket didn't have impact casing on it, I also tested without the perk just to get the percent increase. And throwing up the 3 perks right here, the base, Vorpal, Explosive Light, and also Adrenaline Junkie. As you see, Vorpal and Explosive Light are both roughly 15%, and Adrenaline Junkie is 32%. So Adrenaline Junkie is by far the highest buff, and honestly it's not that unrealistic to use on boss fights because all you have to do is get 3 grenade kills, which is pretty easy to do with just 1 grenade if there is a group of enemies. Then the perk will last for 10 seconds, as you'll see. So the hard part is just getting the times 3 stack going, but then once you do, you should have it for all of your rockets. So now looking at some DPS numbers, just looking at the base, just reloading with field prep, doing 2 shots and 4 shots like I usually like to do with rockets. Testing that first. 4 rockets will take 6.4 seconds. So for 2 rockets, the DPS with explosive light is going to be 83,000, and with adrenaline junkie it will be 96,000, so that is pretty good burst DPS. Then over 4 it will drop to 56.5, then 64.8. So those numbers fall off quite a bit, but are still pretty good. But what we can do is use demo on the left to avoid reloading, and if we add in the damage of a fusion grenade, we can shoot off 2 rockets plus a fusion very quickly at 1.4 seconds. Will be 142,000, then 160.5 with adrenaline junkie, so that is obviously insane burst DPS. But now if we use clown cartridge instead in the right slot, there's going to be all kinds of cool tricks we can do. First is starting off with the 2 rockets and 4 rockets just like we did before, resulting in 132,000 DPS, and then over the 4 rockets it drops to 70,000, which is still higher than the 4 from before. But now what we can do is pair that with demo in the left slot and shoot 3 rockets in a row with a fusion grenade very quickly at 2.7 seconds, which means 3 rockets is still almost 100,000 DPS, which is pretty good for a 3 rocket combo. And we can take this even further using something like Starfire Protocol on Warlock, or even the Nothing Manacles with scatter grenades, both of which will give us 2 grenades on Warlock. Then also on Titan you can use the Armamentarium to get 2 grenades also. So look at that. Now what we can do is shoot 6 rockets on both Titan and Warlock with only 1 reload. So shoot 2 with clown cartridge, use demo to get the 3rd, reload to get the 4th and 5th, then demo for the 6th. And that took just under 8 seconds, which means DPS of that full combo, which is pretty much your entire reserves of the weapon, is still almost 67,000. So that is really good sustained DPS. And finally on Hunter, the ultimate sustained DPS for rockets is going to be the Radiant Dance Machines with Marksman Dodge. And what you can do is shoot off 6 rockets without clown cartridge, which means you can use the damage perk in a row without reloading. And as you see, that takes just over 7.3 seconds, which means the DPS of that will be almost 74,000 with explosive light, or almost 85,000 with adrenaline junkie. And as we showed off earlier in the video, this rocket holds 7 ammo, but with field prep and double reserves it'll go all the way up to 10. So depending on exactly what perks you're using, will be 551,000 all the way up to over 1 million. So not too bad for total damage output either. So overall, there's a lot of cool tricks and cool perks you can get on this rocket. The number 1 god roll I would go for is demo plus clown cartridge. That is one of the most unique rolls on this rocket you can get. And I'd also try to go for demo plus adrenaline junkie. That one makes a lot of sense to me because it is the highest damage buff, and obviously pairing that with demo just makes sense. Then finally, you could go for field prep plus Vorpal or field prep plus explosive light, which will be really good for total damage output because of the fact that you get more rockets, then also the damage increase. So this rocket is definitely worth farming this week. One, because it's like a shadow, so it is the fastest nightfall to do it on. And overall, the rocket just provides different combinations of perks that you pretty much just can't get anywhere else in the game. Anyways, I think that's going to be it for the commentary. Let me know which perks you're going to be going for on this rocket. There'll just be some strike gameplay left in this video. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.
Taken compromised a Red Legionary.